All right, well, from the field to the booth, Pro Football Hall of Famer and former Dallas Cowboys quarterback Troy Aikman has made a name for himself in the sports world. The NFL legend has his sights on a new business venture, though, brewing beer. Aikman, the co-founder of EIGHT Brewing, sat down with Yahoo Finance executive editor Brian Sozzi to discuss the company's successful launch last year, plans for expansion, and the beer industry's culture wars. Let's listen.
It's been a hectic year and a half for sure, but a lot of really good things have happened. Last year, of course, when we launched, we had some projections. We surpassed all of those. We hit some real milestones for us. We sold over 100,000 cases. As you know, we're only in the state of Texas. And for an independent launch, we were the number one in the history of the state. So a lot of things to build on here as we move into year two, and we continue to work and traverse the state. And a lot of good things are happening. So excited about it.
I'm a bit of a foodie. And I think I told you at the time, the can is cool. The brand is on the mark. This is something you're backing. I've tasted the beer. It tastes good. When are you getting out of Texas? When is that big expansion plan for this?
We've got a lot of ground, of course, to cover in the state of Texas. And if we never left Texas, as we said when we launched, we could still have a really viable business. But I expect that as we move into 2024, probably in sometime around the second quarter, I think we'll begin to start venturing outside of the state of Texas. We'll hit some of the neighboring states that seem to make sense. And then we've looked at some other big states across the country as well as to some of those that might be strategic and work well for us.
For those not familiar with the launch, Troy, why are you in the beer business right now?
Well, I worked for a distributorship back when I was in college, when I was transferring to UCLA. Learned a lot during that summer, and then when I got to Dallas, became friends with one of the big distributors there. I've done a lot with that distributorship over the years. I've always liked beer. A couple of reasons, quite honestly. I'm obviously a lifelong athlete. I'm still very mindful of what I put in my body, and I felt that the beer, what was on the market, had gotten a little bit tired, and I felt that it could be done better. So we went to work on it, and I feel that we accomplished that, Brian, because we're 90 calories, 2.6 carbs. But just as important, if not more important, we have no adjuncts. So we had no corn, rice, syrup, or sugars to our beer. And we're the only widely available beer that can say that. So it truly is a better for you beer. And I think it's that has resonated with so many of the consumers that we now have in the state of Texas. And it's the biggest reason why I wanted to be a part of it and make my own beer.
I follow you on Twitter. I have for a long time. So I woke up the other day and I saw the spot from you on your beer, 44 seconds. Maybe you could explain it for those that haven't seen it, because to me, it was, wow, I can't believe Troy Aikman just said all that.
Well, as far as our 4th of July post that we had?
That's correct.
Yeah, so it really, I'm very proud, of course, to be an American, as so many other people are. And when you look at this 4th of July, we're celebrating this great country of ours and the birth of our country. And I know there's a lot of beer brands out there that put an American flag on their package and claim to be American, but they're not. And so I was just basically encouraging those that are partaking and looking for a beer to drink, that if they celebrate the birth of this country and do it with an American-made beer. Certainly EIGHT is, but there's some others out there as well. And I feel that we've tried to stick to that. We've tried to be very authentic to who and what we are. And that's been pretty much our branding and our messaging throughout, as it is for this 4th of July holiday.
I'm sure you've seen what's been going on with Bud Light. It has been, and the sales continue to get worse. The outrage over what they did continues to worsen. So they are very much in trouble. As a leader of a beer brand yourself, can you ever imagine standing up a marketing program like they did?
Well, our approach, quite honestly, Brian, has always been that we're about the beer. That's what we're focused on most. And we've tried to convey that in every way possible. So I do feel that there are beer drinkers out there who are looking to land on a brand. And if authenticity in a company like EIGHT that's just focused on making great beer, if that appeals to you or to them, then we certainly welcome you to be a part of Team 8. And that's really been our approach. And how everybody else does it is totally up to them. But we just want to be about making great beer. We don't want to be in the middle of the debate. We just hope that eight's being drank when there is a debate going on, essentially. That's been our approach from day one, and it will continue to be as long as I'm involved with this company.
All right. Well, of course, we have to talk a little football with you while you're here. Let's start with Aaron Rodgers, new team, Jets. How do you think he's going to do?
Well, I think he's going to do fantastic. I mean, clearly he's a great player. And I think the Jets in general, when you look at where they have been, I like that defense. They've got a lot of good parts. And now with Aaron Rodgers joining that team and four-time league MVP, I expect the Jets to be right in the middle of it, as does the NFL. We've got a great matchup week 1 on ESPN Monday Night Football with Buffalo traveling to the New York Jets. So for the first opportunity for football fans to get a chance to see Aaron Rodgers as a Jet opening up the regular season on Monday night is pretty special for us.
It can't get any worse for the Jets. As someone who's followed the Jets for a long time, it can't get any worse. It's just, it can't.
Well,
it's just.
It's the power of a great quarterback, that you bring him onto the team. It wouldn't have mattered where he went. Immediately, that team then is looked upon as a contender. And like I said, I think there's a lot of good parts around Aaron Rodgers, specifically the way that the defense played a year ago, and a more productive offense is only going to make them even better. So I like the Jets. I would be surprised, and I know a lot of Jets fans would be disappointed if they're not in the conversation late in the year.
Well, if they're not, they might be calling for you, Troy, to come out of retirement, to get out of that broadcast booth and join them. I mean, seriously already. Well, how's that move been for you? Last time we talked to you, I think you were still going through the Fox talks, now on ESPN. How's it been for you?
It's been great. ESPN's been fantastic to myself as well as Joe. We've got a great team. They're on Monday Night Football. The first year was fantastic, and we're especially excited for this year. Like I said, with the schedule that's come out, we've got Philadelphia in a rematch of last year's Super Bowl, traveling to Kansas City midseason. So we've got a lot of really great games. Should be a lot of fun, and I'm super excited about getting this season kicked off.
Well, that was Troy Aikman, co-founder of EIGHT Brewing, alongside our very own Brian Sozzi.